I would like to explain some of the tools that are available for injury management. I want to try to explain a methodology for assisting the injured worker in his or her return to gainful employment and assist in thinking through a return to work issues based on risk, capacity, and tolerance. This whole system, whether it's a functional capacity evaluation, fit for duty testing, pre-employment testing, all of it hinges on functional job descriptions. A functional job description is where everything has to start. The regular job description that you get is normally for HR purposes, for hiring. It tells the duties of the job. It is used in employee reviews. It describes the job. It may say that you have to lift 50 pounds. It doesn't tell you if you have to lift 50 pounds overhead, if you have to lift 50 pounds from one table to the other table with no bending. It doesn't tell you if you have to lift 50 pounds and carry it 100 yards, or if the 50 pounds is a 20-foot pipe that is 6 inches in diameter. It gives no indication of the dimensions, size, anything. It is typically useless when I get a job description for doing functional capacity evaluations. On the other hand, a functional job analysis involves assessing the employee, the work, and the work site. It is used as a validation of compliance with American with Disabilities Act, ADA, and other non-discriminatory legislation. So when you go to do a functional job description, the first thing that you want to do is collect the existing job descriptions. Read the job descriptions. You want to issue incumbent workers questionnaires for them to fill out, letting them identify some of the most physically demanding tasks in their job. Then you will sit down and you will interview some of the incumbent workers that have been doing the job, familiar with the job, and can give you the best information. You want to educate the employer and the person being interviewed that they should not hide anything from you, that you want to know exactly what they want, what they do on a daily basis, so that if things are too heavy outside of the norm, that management will become abreast of this, and ergonomic changes, policies for two-man lifts, all that can be discussed at the end. But for the purpose of doing a functional job analysis, you need to see exactly what they're doing, no matter how unsafe or that they think it is. So it's important to get them comfortable and get management comfortable with that. During this process, you're doing measurements and observation. You're watching the employees work, and then you're collecting data. You're collecting, if it's lifting, you're collecting the size of the object, the dimensions, are there handles, are there no handles, where the hands are when they start the lift, when they finish it, are they starting at the floor, lifting it to shoulder height, what's the frequency of lifts, how many times do they do it, can they take a break, is it time-based? All of these things are important. Validation of functional job descriptions is laid out by the law. Once you collect the data, put it together, you want the incumbent workers to review it, make sure that your terminology is accurate, the frequency of lifts is accurate, the weights are accurate, and then you have the supervisors and management review it for any changes. At this point, they can say, we don't want our employees to lift this much, or we had no idea that lifted. We can put an overhead hoist there. So it gives management the opportunity to make changes and lower the criteria if possible, which again protects the incumbent workers and reduces the risk of injury through this process. So corrections and editing will be done upon the agreement with the content. Once it's verified, this is signed. And from this point, you can design pre-employment testing using a validated functional job description. You can conduct functional capacity evaluations. You can conduct fit for duty testings for existing employees. And when someone is going to the doctor, if they got injured at home, injured at work, you have a functional job description to provide that physician so he can give accurate information on return to work. So a job description is what, as I said earlier, the typical job description is what the employer posts when he is announcing a job. It is used in HR. It's generally templates, and it may say something like, utilize a motorized hand jack to move materials from loading dock to the work area. Must be able to lift 40 pounds. Daily responsibilities include documenting the number of calls that came in. None of this tells you, how much material was loaded on the pallet. What is the distance that you're going? Is there an incline? Where did you lift the 40 pounds? So you really, really need functional job descriptions through a job analysis. A functional job analysis is also known as a physical demand analysis. It's much more detailed, and it describes all the movements that are the essential functions for that job title. It's the loads that a worker is likely to encounter performing the job. The tools to manage your incumbent workers, your new employees, are the foremost. If you start any of this, you have to start with functional job descriptions. This allows you to do fit for duty testing, pre-employment post-offer screens. And the beauty of pre-employment post-offer screens is that once you have offered the employee a job, it allows you to ask questions about pre-existing injuries, any workers' comp injuries that they've had in the past, any surgeries that they've had. So during their physical, we can expand testing to evaluate that area more thoroughly. So you're getting a documented range of motion values. Is there any pain during testing? Do they have any pre-existing conditions that put them at high risk for doing the job for which they have been offered? There are statistics that say 80% of the injuries come from 10% of the employees that were unable to physically do the job at the time of hiring. The next is functional capacity evaluations, as we have discussed previously. Ergonomic evaluations, workstation. Many times the hospital will call me if someone's having symptoms of carpal tunnel, thoracic outlet, tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, to look at their workstation to see if it can be modified to reduce their symptoms, keep them at work, and allow them to be productive. The employee is so thankful that the employer thought enough of them to offer these services. So generally, everyone is happy in this situation. And again, I'm excited about this. I was just certified this year in it, and I'm so excited about the philosophy behind this. But there is activity coaching through PGAP, which some people psychologically do not handle pain as well as other people. They call them catastrophizers. They may score high in fear, and PGAP gives psychometric measures to evaluate these psychological parameters, but it doesn't address them. I am not a psychologist. It uses activity. Once you do these and identify what areas are affecting the person, PGAP gives you a plan on how to get this person active and see that these fears may be unrealistic. So after the first meeting, we do not talk about symptoms anymore. We simply design activities that are well within their capacity, get them to fill out a logbook, meet with them once a week, develop a therapeutic relationship with them, and help them see that some of these fears that they had may not be grounded in fact at all. And statistically, this has helped hundreds of thousands of people overcome their fears. It's the most effective way for addressing delayed recovery that I've ever heard of.